Hi, guys. What a cool theater, right?
Look at all these fucking people.
It's a rock club.
Hi,
This feels
everybody.
right, Sam?
It feels good. There's so many people here. It makes me, I knew there would be a lot of people here, but it's a fucking lot of people in here.
Thanks
Abbi.
for coming.
Yeah.
I can see there's Coors Light in here. There's a lot of signs for Coors Light.
Are you guys drinking Coors Light? Yes.
Oh, cool. You guys can drink. You can drink while you're watching, like a normal,
Good.
cool
It'll
club.
make me so much funnier and smarter.
Yeah. Good call.
If
Keep
all
going.
of you are drunk.
It would.
Abbi, congratulations on your first book of essays.
Thanks, Sam.
I might regret
Thanks.
this. It's very good. Did you guys just get your copies tonight, or has anyone read it? Okay. All right. You guys are in for a treat. I also would like to use this time to take credit for...
No, I feel like you maybe can. You
I
fully
made
could.
you write
Yeah.
this book.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I
So,
was like, I don't
when
know.
you're reading it, think about me.
You legit did. We had long calls where
Yeah.
you were like, you are gonna finish it.
Yeah.
You're gonna write it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
We
mean,
first
I
talked about
appropriately
it-
thanked you in the end for it.
Highlight that part. We went to, I don't know if you remember this, we went to brunch and Anthony Edwards from ER was in the restaurant.
Yeah, like recently.
Yeah, no, when I told you to write the book.
Oh my gosh, at Cafe Clooney.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I think I want to do this. Yeah.
And I was like, Anthony Edwards and I would really like for you to write a book. And then you did it, so hopefully he's proud of you too.
We'll see. Hold on. Wasn't that in Chicago?
No.
Where
we were
was
in
it?
New York.
No, ER.
Oh, ER, yeah. I didn't watch that shit.
How do you know who Anthony Edwards is? From Top Gun or whatever?
No, from that movie he did with Forrest Whitaker. You guys remember when they were buddy cops? Nobody is familiar with Forrest Whitaker's deep cuts as I am.
Isn't one of your profile pictures?
I love Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, thank you, Sam, for making me write this book.
You're welcome.
And thank you to Anthony Edwards. I know that you're here tonight. And thank you for coming. That brunch that we had really sealed the deal.
Okay, I wrote questions down like a real asshole. Because I wanted to make sure, because I would, if it was up to me, I would just be like, so let's talk about nail polish. But
Okay.
they want to hear about real stuff.
All right,
so
let's do it.
Pardon my handwritten notes.
I love it.
But I feel really official. How and why did you decide to write a book of essays? Why essays?
Right. Well, besides you forcing me to, I don't know. I mean, most of my writing is scripts. So breaking stories in that way, which you've come to know is like a very different beast. And I was so in that mode, you know, for the past like 10 years, kind of writing scripts and dialogue in that way. I'd been thinking about trying to write in a longer format for a while, and essays seemed like the next thing I wanted to do. Didn't have this idea to be so personal really until like the fever dream of me actually doing it happened. So basically this book, so I didn't write, it was an illustrated book. 2 years ago I drew a book. And so I did a book tour like this, you know, we like literally did this for that. And I wrote the smallest little essay at the end of that book that was sort of like an epilogue, which an epilogue doesn't belong at the end of an illustrated book. It doesn't need to be there at all.
People are like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, they were like, who she thinks she's drawing people's shit? Why is she? Yeah. But I don't know. I wrote this little thing and I really enjoyed writing that, even though it was like 2 pages. And so I found myself at this point in 2017, so basically when you read the book, I hope you read the book. I mean, you came all the way out here. I hope you read it. But I work kind of constantly, since Broad City started. I'm really a workaholic, and I found myself feeling very overwhelmed with work. I was pretty much devastated. I was heartbroken, and I was like dumped, and we went right into production of season 4 of Broad City, which is the best distraction one could ever ask for, because I'm like thrown into this like whirlwind of creative problems, and I have to like kind of be on all the time. But then it kind of made the feelings like heightened when I would get home, and I was just like a mess of a person. And so when season 4 was like set to end after production, we edit, and I knew that the edit was going to be over, and then I was going to have time to like not be distracted, and I was like, oh shit, oh shit, it's coming. And so it really felt like a fever dream. In this edit stage, I went out and pitched this book to like force myself to take a vacation. Like the only way I could take a vacation is if I pitched a book.
I often feel like
about
writing books is a real vacation. So relaxing.
It was really like, oh yeah. No, but like just the act of, so it's about a cross-country trip from New York to LA, and I pitched this book, and kind of blindly, I told the publisher, how I'd been feeling, but also that I had no idea what the book was going to be. And they fucking bought it, which is crazy, but... Can
I just interrupt and say that is not how it works for non-famous people?
And listen, I know it's not. I was going to say it too.
I am imagining myself walking to my publisher and being like, look...
Okay, I think that you could do that at this point.
No, girl, I had 2 best-selling books, and they were like, Sam, sure, yeah, but we need an outline. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess shit's weird. I don't know. What am I going to say?
It's good. No, I don't want you to apologize. I just don't want anyone to think they could, like, go to a publisher and be like,
and...
So I have this really good idea for a book.
Yeah, I agree. It was a little bizarre. And so then I went on the trip. Where was I?
Sorry.
Before I was called out.
I don't want to disillusion.
I know. Guys,
youth.
okay, I agree. You can't just go in and do that. I know.
Unless...
All right, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay.
No,
thought this was going to be a bunch of softball questions.
No.
I'm tough.
So yeah, and then what was that?
You went on the trip.
Oh, I went on the
trip.
trip.
You pitched the book. You went on the trip.
So basically, this is a long story, but that's the story I'm here to tell. So I had work in LA 3 weeks after this break, and I was like, I have never driven across the country. I had a Mini Cooper in New York that I hardly ever drove, because you really don't need a car in New York. But I got one, like the start of me needing to like break free. I would like drive like an hour away for no reason. I never drove it in the actual city. It was only to leave. But so I was like, this is perfect. I'm just gonna split. I'm gonna take off by myself, drive to LA 3 weeks, and then I'll figure out exactly what this book will be. But the pitching of it was the only way that I would kind of allow myself to go on this vacation. And then I wrote about it.
Did you write while you were on the road, or did you take notes?
I took notes. I took notes, like kind of more journal-like, a lot of voice memos. I took a lot of pictures. So the framework of the book is every chapter is a different city that I stopped in. And it's a lot, I found in writing it was a lot about memory. So it's not necessarily about Austin or Santa Fe, but it's kind of like what the city made me think of. Sometimes it's about the place, but it took me a while to find the format. There were a lot of calls where I was like, Sam, how did you do this? But yeah, it took me a while to find the format. But a lot of it is also, I was driving by myself for so long. Like, has anyone ever gone on a solo road trip? Yeah! But if you're by yourself, like if you're with people, you split the driving time. If you're by yourself, I didn't realize how much like your body hurts and stuff. Yeah. It would be like an easy day would be like 7 hours, 8-hour drive. And so a lot of the essays I termed them with my editor these drive times. So it's like Marfa to Santa Fe, 8 hours, 32 minutes. And it was like these categories of like stuff I was thinking about. Your mind kind of goes wild. So yeah, I'm rambling right now as well. Yeah, I'm gonna let you ask another question. I'm just answering questions in my head now. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be patient on this side.
So I had a question about process, but first, is it scary being out on the road, like alone?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time alone in my everyday life. Like I live alone. I like being alone, but I definitely did feel a little nervous. I drove only during the day. I knew that was a thing I would do just because I have bad luck. And I was like, if I'm driving at night, something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
If it happens during the day, I think I can figure it out.
Yeah.
But if it happens at night, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I drove during the day. There was one place I was really scared, and it was the most beautiful place I think that I was in Utah. I was staying in like this.
Full stop, Utah.
I was staying in this cabin, and I was terrified. I left a day early because I was like, it's too quiet here. No, I can't do it. I rented. I was so scared. I didn't do any of the things that I had planned to do when I was there, which was to go canyoneering in Zion and do all the things. Instead,
I don't even know what these words mean.
You have seen these. There's these crazy pictures of people in the middle of these marbled canyons, and you're
No.
like, how did you get in there?
I don't even look at pictures like that.
You don't look at pictures like that?
No.
You scroll past them?
Yes.
Well, I've seen enough on Instagram to be like, I want to do that. And then when I actually got there, I was like, it was the first place where I was like, I wish I was with people.
Yeah.
I didn't like being by myself there. And what I did, they had a plastic drawer, from Bed Bath & Beyond. And they were like, so listen, there is a TV in your cabin, but there's no cable. There's nothing set up to it except a DVD player, and we have all these DVDs you can borrow. And I was like,
what DVDs, please?
well, I was like, I'm in Utah. Why am I doing this? But I'm doing it. This is what so I watched my best friend's wedding.
Oh, that's a
What
good
a
movie.
pathetic. This is what you're in
No.
store for, guys. I go all the way to Utah to watch Julia Roberts on an old DVD in my best friend's wedding. Yeah, but it's stuff like that really I'd been yearning to write about, I needed to get it out there.
You had to dig deep.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It needed to be.
Yeah.
It was people have been
that
waiting.
chapter's like a real excavation.
It is.
So I am very jealous of people who can draw. What is your, what's the challenge when you're drawing something as opposed to when you're writing something, or vice versa?
Okay, so in the book, there are illustrations. I can't escape that. But I basically, all the illustrations, the ideal thing for when you read this book is that you feel like you're on the road trip with me. So all the illustrations are, they're like albums and podcasts. It's mostly the soundtrack that I was listening to while I was on the trip. I wanted you to have the full experience, all the senses, But I limited myself to pencil, which I hadn't done. I did it even before the publisher would have told me probably that they cannot afford to use color in the book. So I did it before. I was like, I want pencil. And they were like, okay. But the other book, the last book I did was so colorful. So I really just wanted to feel like it's my sketchbook. And the thing I've been enjoying doing, I went to school for art, but I wasn't an illustrator. I did more paintings and big drawings. But when I moved to New York, everything got really small because I only had a little table, a little desk. So I started illustrating, and the thing I found in the last book that I continue in this book was I like you to see the work. So you really see all the marks, and if I messed up, it's in there still. So like I suck at drawing hands, and all these album covers, go figure, everyone's got hands. Like, I was like, here we go again, somebody's got another hand. But so I limited myself, and there was something so nice about that. And I just really like calling out the flaws of the drawings. But I think your question was the difference between drawing and writing. I was getting there.
That's how you know she doesn't smoke weed, because you have a good memory.
I circle back, yeah. So these drawings were such a relief in this book because, Broad City is very, it's my favorite thing to do in my life, but it is also so very difficult. Mostly the writing process for Alana and I is really, let's just say there's a lot of grays in this head of hair now from that process. But this was probably the hardest thing I've done creatively because it's so personal. And so the illustrations, I was like, thank God, even if I'm drawing a hand, they were relieving to do. It was a break from the essays.
That's good. Speaking of personal,
nice segue.
So you're a pretty private person. I feel like people don't know. People think they know a lot about you. They don't know a lot about you.
I've been saying that's like the real world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You think you know.
Yeah.
But you have no idea. This is a story of one stranger driving in a car for like 10 hours a day.
But they will, by the end of the book, know you. And as a person
so.
who, for those of you who are unfamiliar with my work, people
Very
who have
private.
read my stuff know about my butthole and all my holes. And people can come up to me on the street and be like, so, that thing about your pussy. And it just comes with the territory of what I do.
Yeah.
Are you nervous that people will now have more of you than they've actually had? I just roll with it now. I'm like, yep, girl, it was rough. But
spoiler, my book doesn't get into any of my holes. I'm sorry, you'll have to come back for the next one.
Counting on it.
This is gonna be a long career, one hole at a time. But I don't know.
Everybody in here
Sam,
is
you gotta spread it
thinking
out
about
a
our
little.
butts.
Yeah, they are.
I do spread it out. That's why I have so many books about my holes.
This is good.
Sorry. I wasn't talking into the mic, so
did
some of you
someone
missed
say?
those brilliant jokes. Yeah.
Someone just say, move it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do it again?
No. It'll just be a moment for those of us who
They just thought I was talking about my butthole, and they missed yours.
Yeah.
No, I'm not nervous just because Broad City is very personal in some ways. It's not me, but it is so based on me. Like all the seeds of her are me. It's a very amplified version of me. I think you guys can tell the difference. I think. I'm not, right? Yeah, I always am curious, but this is very personal. I mean, I get nervous whenever I put something new out, regardless. Like I was very nervous for the illustrated book, and that wasn't personal at all. I think there's a level of, I'm really nervous about the actual writing because I'm embarking on this new format, this longer format of essays. So people are going to be like, this is shitty writing. That's a big concern. If you feel that way, don't
Keep it to yourself.
Don't tweet at me about that, because that's a bizarre thing to want to do, is tweet someone specifically to tell them their shit sucks. But that's a thing, weirdly, right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I am nervous. It is very personal, and I mean, I write about, you guys will, like, I was really heartbroken, and when I took this trip, and then in pretty much the year after, I wrote it in a year, and it's about, I had never fallen in love before, and I had always felt very, like, outsidery because of that. Like, I was like ashamed that I'd never fallen in love before. So I write about that. I also fell in love with a woman, and I'd only dated men before that, so I write about that. I'm not nervous about that.
Which is better?
Well, I write a lot about that. I really weigh the difference in men and women.
Women. Just kidding, men.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm nervous about most things in my life. So this doesn't differ. Yeah. But I feel like, I don't know. I guess the people knowing me or not thing of it all. I feel like people already feel like they know me, which is so flattering, because that's, I guess, the ultimate goal, of making a TV show that's with someone that's very much like you, where you're like, oh, you hope the audience feels like they are a part of it. You hope the audience feels like, oh, we would be friends with them. Like, we want to be part of that group, That's the ultimate, like, that's so flattering. But it's also this bizarre thing in my real life where I do feel like, as Alana and I are getting older, we are different than the characters.
Yeah.
They are very much us in our early 20s and different. And I kind of felt like, oh, this is also why I need to write this, because I do feel like I'm not exactly like her. And yeah.
Would you do it again? Would you write another essay collection?
Yeah,
it's a weird
I'm
question.
writing no, I'm not. What if I was like, I'm writing
weird
one?
since it just came out, but
Yeah.
some people get the bug and then they're like, I'm doing it all the time.
I mean, I am not even thinking about that right now just yet. Broad City just shot the last scene on Friday, so I'm like really like can't process
Everyone is
much.
so sad.
I'm very sad about it. I mean, we chose this, but it's very bittersweet, and so I haven't surprisingly haven't planned the next distraction yet. Yeah.
We have one.
We have a distraction, yeah. That's
Yeah.
already planned. That's been planned for a little while.
Yeah.
We're slowly doing it. but
We're
it's
going to fill the Broad City shaped hole in your heart.
Do you want to say what we're doing?
Oh. Can I say where?
Yeah, you can say where. It's moved now.
Yeah, okay. So we are developing My Book Meaty into a show for Comedy Central. So, yeah.
Yeah, and
So
we've been doing it.
pay your cable bill.
Yeah,
Don't cut the cord yet.
yeah. Don't cut the cord. No, we've been doing it for a while. It's so cool to try and adapt your book to TV.
I was thinking of calling it Fat City. Black City. Broad Fatty. Oh, you love that one! All right.
Got me.
We have a show.
I think I'm gonna call them up tomorrow and be like, it's not meaty anymore.
That's right. I'm going to segue right into this. You wrote a whole chapter about snacks.
Yep, I did.
What? Yes. These are our people. What was the best thing you ate on the road?
So Okay,
This
so
is the
I will
shit I
say
wanna know.
my snack chapter is about snacks, but it's also about like snacks are used as a tool to define like a place.
Yes.
If that makes sense. It
Yeah.
sounds like I'm a fucking sommelier of snacks. I'm like,
I mean,
it's about the emotion behind
aren't we all?
the snack.
We are. Yeah, you are.
So I was like this is a disappointing confession of snacks. Like I didn't eat anything good.
Oh.
Like, oh. I was like really trying to be good on this trip because I was sitting and I was in like so much pain from like driving and
yeah.
shit. And I was like, I don't want to be like snacking on the whole trip. But I did curate a good like snack. I literally call it a snack style in my book. Because I don't eat meat anymore. I think the last time I ate meat was on this trip because I bought this turkey jerky in Austin for nostalgic reasons. Because this is such a sad time in Alana and my history where Alana had gone to Austin. We were writing season 1 of Broad City. She had gone to Austin and she was like, Abby, I've discovered this jerky. Anyone that had worked with us like knows about this phase because it was disgusting. I feel like we were living off of turkey jerky.
Oh.
We ordered it in bulk. It was crazy. It was like, hey, do you want this table of jerky? Anytime anyone came in anywhere, wow, peek behind the curtain. You sometimes don't like what you see, huh?
I mean,
So that was the
I'm
most
into that.
exciting snack. And then I was like, I'm good. I've exhausted this salty, like, what is, jerky is crazy.
Yeah, it's
What
just
is
like
it?
salt.
It is salt, so much so that your like your like teeth hurt
Yeah.
from the salt.
Yeah.
I'm happy I'm past that.
Do you want to make more art books?
Yeah, I guess one of the next things I want to do, in the future is get back to not just illustration, like trying to do larger scale art again, which I haven't done in like 15 years, 12 years. Oh my
Abby
gosh,
has a
I'm old.
really good podcast called A Piece of Work. That's
You were
about
on it?
art. I was on it. My episode is a lot of
We went to
crying
see a
and
Terrell.
heavy breathing. Yeah,
I mean,
we did. We
you
saw
guys-
the most
you know
incredible.
James Terrell. Guys, does anybody?
Ja-
Okay,
oh,
and it's okay if you don't. Like, I barely knew who he was, and I was
Yeah.
hosting the art podcast. And basically, he does these installations about light. Look it up. I guarantee there's one in the city. It is one of the coolest experiences you will have, right?
Yes, it was
The
amazing.
whole podcast is us geeking out
Yeah.
at light.
Yeah, Abby cried, which was
I
great.
cried.
It was really beautiful.
It's a hole in the sky of this museum in Brooklyn. It's a cutout hole in the ceiling.
Yeah.
And he's designed these lights that go around it that light up the room. And the sky is changing. And it's this unbelievable experience.
Yeah, it was great. I do not have the vocabulary to speak about art, so I mostly was like, whoa. But it was really the coolest
Me
thing.
neither. That's what the whole podcast is about. The fact that it's okay to not
Yeah.
know exactly how you feel or what you're looking at. I'm doing a second season of it.
I was just going to ask, are you doing another season?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it together.
Okay.
I need to get my shit together, I'm trying to get it together.
Okay. So
This
I
is
had
so
to,
crazy. Sometimes I forget that like all of you guys are here. Are you? I'm like, yeah.
No, I'm acutely aware of every
You are?
eyeball.
I'm not. This is bizarre. I keep forgetting that all of you are here right now. That's how engaged I am with you.
Well, I am so sweaty. I'm like, can they see?
No, I can't even see.
I had
I'm
to
right
switch
here.
to natural deodorant and listen, don't hug me after this shit. is all I'm saying. Okay, I had to work in some questions about the theme.
Love it. I love a good theme.
Yeah, our theme is graphic. So this is my very smooth way of inserting it.
All right.
Do you think we need to increase visual literacy? I don't even know what that means. What?
Did you write this?
No.
I thought you developed a question based on the theme.
If I developed, I just spit everywhere. If I developed a question based on the theme, it'd be like, so, graphics, am I right? And then.
Well, I think it encompasses all of it, right? I was like, yeah, the cover's very graphic. I literally said that downstairs, but I get it's all the things.
Yeah.
So
no, they knew they had a full moron doing this, so they sent me some questions that I wrote in my own handwriting
Can
to try
I
to
just
trick people
say something?
up front into thinking. But I decided to admit it to everyone that I don't know shit about art.
I'm just
so
gonna
I had
say,
to get help.
I'm gonna stop you right here because I'm gonna say a thing that happened backstage because Sam over here continually is I'm doing it. Sam posted, they were like, I guess they asked for our bios. And I had like, I don't think I wrote my bio, like someone wrote my bio for me, but it's like just shit I've done. And then Sam sent in her bio as she has a blog.
It's not wrong.
And it's not wrong, but like we just had to, there was a group of us downstairs listing off her credits to change the bio that was announced because you are actually a very established writer and you don't own it.
But no, do not clap. Don't clap for that. Stop it. Okay, that's true. I'm great. But I don't know anything about art, which is true.
It's
so
fine.
I'm going to cheat and ask you this very smart question that I think Allison Cuddy wrote. Happy birthday to Allison, by the way. She's running this, and today's her birthday, so if you know her, give her a high five or something. Isn't that how white people
you
say
got halfway through
congratulations?
Yeah, you got halfway through this question, and I already am nervous about like not knowing a good answer. So you can continue. I'm just gonna say you were halfway through, and I was like, I don't know.
No. Okay. What are the best ways to practice visual literacy? And then I said, should I be spending more time in museums, or can I just like look at artists on Instagram? Like, what's the best way for regular people to consume more visual art?
Okay, great. I will answer that. But I am a little like, I never use the term visual literacy. Does that apply to, you're talking like knowing things at museums? Is that what you're saying?
I told you. They sent the question, and then I had to make it my
up
own.
Here with this visual literacy, we need regular literacy up here. What are we fucking doing? Visual literacy.
Everybody in the audience is like, these stupid ass bitches.
We were doing so well until they asked us about the theme.
I'm scared to walk off the stage and have like somebody official
they're gonna bring
with a badge be like, what was up with all the art questions, stupid?
Okay.
So I had to put that
literacy.
in.
So my whole podcast.
Forget that part. Art. How do I look at it? How do I see art?
Okay. I mean, that is what I really wanted to do the podcast for because I went to art school and I did years of art history, and it's the same as it's important to like look at those old masters, but it's, you know, museums are often seen as so pretentious, and it's like a nervous place to be if you feel like you don't know what you're talking about, or, you know, I yelled out, I like name dropped James Turrell and then made you guys say if you knew him. So I am the problem. But it's all about, it doesn't matter. It's just about, you should still go because it's like, I think however you experience the art, this is so cheesy, is like the art. It's like, it almost doesn't even matter the intention of the artist. It's how you experience it. Mm-hmm. So So I don't know. Again, I'm going to go back to the visual literacy because I don't think there's like a right or wrong. That's my whole thesis.
Okay. No, that was good. That was a good answer.
I'm like, it's such a pretentious world, and I'm not even in it. Like, I have an art podcast, and I was like, I don't know. Like, what are we, like, tell me what this is about, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
See, that was a good answer.
Okay.
Okay.
We're back on track.
Okay, good. Okay. This is another one, but it's easy.
Okay.
It's easy. So, do you ever feel like you need to take a break from screens? I just got off Facebook. Well, I know. You don't have to clap. It was just, I felt like I was connected to too many people who I didn't actually know. And I also, like, just hate anyone sending me messages I don't know how to answer. So it was less about, like, Russian bots or whatever, and more about, like, I don't want your Aunt Judy fucking messaging me.
Aunt Judy. She's always sliding into those
Hey, Sam.
messages.
So,
Yeah,
do you ever, like, do you feel like you're too into screens? I feel like if someone took Instagram away, I would be very sad.
Yeah, I got off Facebook probably 4 years ago because I was like, what am I doing? Like, you catch yourself, you're like, I was just on that, but my mind forgot in the 2 seconds that I wasn't on it, and now I'm back on it, and I was like, there's nothing even new on it. I've seen the thing. There's no, I was like, I'm going crazy. And I took Twitter off my phone, and I don't check it that much. I'm on Instagram, and I have a love-hate relationship with social media because it is how I have a whole career. I mean, Broad City, we started as a web series. We put it on YouTube, and the only way anyone had ever saw it was because we shared it on social media. So I have there's a place in my heart for social media. There is a sound, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, crazy. It's Facebook. It's like social media. Like, shut up.
That's Mark Zuckerberg, like, beaming down.
Yeah. No, but I have like a sweet spot for it, but I also really hate it. Like, I feel like I had to go back on it in the past month and a half to really promote this.
Yeah.
And I feel like throughout the year I have to go back on to promote stuff because it's so much a part of what I do now. Like, it's so much about press is about me promoting projects. So, like, I have to kind of be on it. But personally, I don't really post much personal stuff. And I really wish I was one of those people that was like, I have no idea, I'm not on it.
Yeah.
Didn't see it, not on it. Like, I want to be that person so bad.
Yeah.
I
Me
just
too,
don't
in
think
theory,
I really.
But no, I never.
I do
could.
try to follow a lot of artists on Instagram, so most of my feed
as
is
a way
is
to
artwork.
Enhance your visual literacy. I'm sorry
That
to
was
whoever wrote that question. We're
so
just
good. That was great. Yes, that is. I was actually alley-ooping you. I was like, yep, that's it.
Thank you. Okay, so there's an audience Q&A, but you can't trust people to not be stammering and crying, so it would take 10 hours. So some people sent questions in, and I'm gonna ask those questions. Okay. Tiffany T asked, was that Tiffany screaming out there?
Tiff T.
All right, girl. What's a project or type of project that you'd love to be involved in but have never talked about?
I would love to be in a band.
What kind of music?
Rock?
Oh. Do you play any instruments?
No.
Can you sing?
Okay, this is a joke I say a lot on Broad City and in the book and in everything I write. I truly think that if I took a lesson, I could sing. You know, like I think if I worked on it, I could. I just haven't done it yet. I think I could do it.
I think you should do it. I play the piano. I'm sure we could find
You are
someone
good.
to do.
Yeah, you're a good piano player.
I'm pretty amazing.
I can kind of play.
Let me add it to my bio. Has a blog, plays piano.
I can kind of play the drums. My dad, I grew up, my
Right.
dad was in a band. My dad played the drums, so I would always like rock out in the basement. But maybe I should take drum lessons.
Yeah, you should. You should start a band. Okay. Bruno asked, out of all the places you traveled to, is there one where you could see yourself staying long term, maybe even forever?
Whoa! Oh! He got her! What?
Yeah, that was so weird.
Forever.
Everyone's
What?
like, ugh.
Holy shit. I'm guessing they mean on the this road trip.
Yeah.
I don't know. LA, I split my time between New York and LA already, so LA. But what if I was like Utah?
We'd all be like, bye, we'll never see you again.
No, I really like Austin. Mm-hmm. Austin's very livable.
It's so hot.
Yeah, but like only for a little bit, right?
What?
No?
Every day it's hot.
No, I was there in the winter. It's like freezing.
You can't talk to people in Chicago about freezing.
Yeah.
We know
All right.
from
It's
freezing.
not really freezing. It was colder than I thought it would be. Okay, moving on. West Texas was pretty rad. I went to Marfa, which I hadn't been to before. I don't know if I would want to live there forever, but I will say that of all, like maybe my favorite thing I did on this whole trip was I rented a bike from my hotel in Marfa and just rode around the town. Mm-hmm. And I will say, the end of this book talks about how I did hardly anything you're supposed to do in every city I went to. Spoiler alert, I don't do much. But so Marfa is this art town full of Judd and all these, again, I'm dropping these crazy art names, but I don't really know that much about them either. But it's an art town. It's like full of museums, all this outdoor art. I saw hardly any of it. I just rode this bike around because the sky there is unbelievable. And I've been living in New York for 12 years. I lived in Baltimore for 4 years before that, and so no one yelled for Baltimore. Wow. Anyway, Marfa, the sky there is unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen a sky
How
like...
is the sky in Baltimore? Just kidding.
It might be why no one yelled for it. It's pretty unspectacular. But in Marfa, I was really kind of overwhelmed by how beautiful the sky was. So I've gone back since, actually. Yeah.
So Texas is the front runner?
Oh, maybe? Yeah. Maybe just because it's so not like where I'm used to. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Kelsey wants to know, who are your female icons and why?
Kels. Sam Irby.
Oh, stop.
Can I just say real quick, like I read Sam's book in 2014, Janine Garofalo gave me Sam's book when she guest starred on Broad City season 1. And I went home and read it because I'm like, Janine Garofalo gave me anything. I'm going to read anything she gave me. And I read it at home like I was in a, like I live alone. I was like hiding it from no one. And I was like, I've never read anything like this before. I've never read someone's work that has such an important and unique voice. And
I'm gonna drop dead.
I didn't tell anyone about it. I was like, no one will know about this. I need to find this person and make this with her. So yeah, icon status.
But who for real?
I mean, I do share this with my character. I am a huge Oprah fan.
Oh, yeah.
I just listened to Super Soul Sunday on my way here. There's a 2-parter. This is really making me like very... I'm like upset at myself that I'm tying this back around, but there was a 2-parter with Julia Roberts. As that came out, I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, but I am who I am. And so Oprah's up there. There's an illustrator, Myra Coleman, who has always been I've just been like such a fan of her work for so long. Who else? Amy Poehler, who I've gotten the chance to work with, has been such a big influence on me. My mom.
Aww.
And I say that, she's not even here.
Okay, let's see. Michael wants to know, what's your absolute favorite episode of Broad City? Can I say mine while you think about it?
Yeah, that's easier for me.
The one where you guys are going to that wedding?
Destination wedding.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Alana as a character really stresses me out.
What does?
Alana.
Oh, as a character?
Yeah.
Have you met her?
No. I'm scared because on TV, she's like, if she was your friend, I'm always like peeling my skin off at how like anxious she makes me. I'm like, if that was my friend,
hilarious.
I would like murder her.
She
and go to
in
jail.
real life, Alana's
normal and great, I'm sure.
she's great on. I love the character, but she's definitely a very heightened version of herself. Every once in a while, not so much. Same with me. But we're like every once in a while we're exactly them. But yeah, in that episode, yeah, it's. I mean, in that episode, also your season 1, before we realized like everything you do on the show doesn't have to be real. We were just talking about this the other day. In that episode, we're on a bus, like in New York. I don't know. In New York, like all these buses leave from Chinatown that are like there are Bolt buses, but then there are these Chinatown buses that leave to go outside the city, and they're like a really good, cheap way to leave if you don't have a car or want to take the train. And the bus stops short, and there's a bucket of like fish heads and juice, like from the fish heads that gets spilled all over me. And like we just were like, why did it have to be real? Like in the moment, like it was really fish heads and fish head juice that was spilled all over me. And it was like, we were shooting in November for like September. So I was in a tank top, like a sleeveless dress. And I was like, we are crazy. Why did that happen? Yeah. But that was that. I love that episode. And I don't know. I have a lot of. I really love the finale of season 1 where Alana has the fish allergy.
Oh yeah. Oh, that one is great.
And
yeah. That one's great.
I carry her out of the thing.
Yeah.
Just,
that's excellent.
but I think it's so intense that we're now. When I get back, when I'm on this tour for a week and then I go back to New York to edit for like 2 months, and Alana is editing because we both directed 2 episodes this year, and in the editing process, the director goes in first and does their director's cut. So Alana's sending me photos. She's like doing it while I'm on the tour. And I think the last episode of this season, the first and last episodes of this season 5, I mean, the last one, it might be my favorite just because I'm so proud of how we ended it. I really feel good about how it ended. So
Good.
I hope that episode's my favorite. Haven't seen it yet.
I'm gonna ask you one more because we're almost out of time. How did you find, strengthen, this is from Alexandra, how did you find, strengthen, and grow your personal voice over the progression of your career / artistic practice?
Wow.
Ending it on a light note.
I think that, and I write a lot about this in the book. The longest chapter is about Broad City, and a lot of it is actually about Alana and my working relationship and how it really works and how we've gotten really good at figuring it out. And I think a lot of that is due to, we figured out how to find like the joint voice of the show, but also simultaneously our individual voices. So everything else that we each do comes back and helps the show. So we've always been like motivating each other to do these other things. And so throughout all these years, I have been trying to do my own stuff on the side. But while I was in like grad school, we always talk about Broad City as like a grad school like program for TV, because we're like, whoa, like we went in not ever writing a script for TV, and like now we know how to do it. And so I think that's part of it. And then I think this book, and just like even like, I did coloring books, and I did this illustrated book, and then this guy that's out now. I don't know, I think it's about trying new things. And again, I'm very lucky that people keep letting me do it. I mean, I do, even though, we joke about it, I do totally realize how lucky I am that people keep paying me to do this stuff. It feels crazy kind of constantly, but I think I'm interested in just kind of continually trying to find my voice. I think each time, don't you feel like each time you embark on a new thing, you're like, I think I know it?
Yeah.
But after you're done that new book, you're like, oh, I didn't really realize it was this, and now I know more about my voice. So I think that answered. Yeah, that was it.
That was a good answer.
That was it.
That was a good answer. All right.
Wait, hold on. Before we're done,
Yes.
I want to remember this thing.
Yeah.
So, one, thank you guys so much for coming.
Yeah.
What an honor to talk about this in front of you, and I really, really hope you like the book. I'm terrified about it. If I didn't express that, this is me doing that right now. Very scared about it, but I really do love it too.
Really good.
But so I will be over there doing stuff and signing books and stuff. But also, I've been working with Swing Left the past couple weeks, and so they're going to be over there too. And I don't know about what the swing districts are really in this area, but even if there aren't ones right here in Chicago, there's definitely a bunch like an hour and 2 hours away from here. And I gotta say, a couple weeks ago, I'm from Pennsylvania, so I went to Pennsylvania and met a couple candidates that are running in swing districts, and it was, it actually felt like such a selfish experience, even though I wasn't initially doing it like that. It was so rewarding to go and feel like I was of some use, to go and meet these people and try and talk to people and canvas and call people and try and get people involved, because I think everyone is feeling very helpless right now. And it just felt so good. And you actually can make a difference. Like a lot of these districts, the votes, it's like within hundreds. And you calling people and going and canvassing can truly change that. So they're going to be there. They can explain what I tried to just explain so much better. But again, thank you for coming. Thank you so much to Sam.
No,
thank you to the festival for having me.
Thank you.